I find it
Mhm.
annoying that my kids believe in Santa or the Tooth Fairy, but what's the big deal with people lying to their kids about stuff like that? Isn't it good to engage in fantasy play? What's wrong with lying to your kids about
Mm.
Santa?
Well, first, the surprising thing is, I really didn't anticipate this until I wrote the book and published it, and it just came back at me. I never anticipated it. Is that I heard from many, many people who remember what it was like to discover that their parents had lied to them about Santa Claus or the Tooth Fairy, most
Mhm.
often Santa Claus, and they considered it a moral injury. They were just uh, horrified to discover that an elaborate lie could be told like that, and they wondered what other lies had been told in the family. In fact, also I heard from fundamentalist Christians who, I think I have this right, would say that their family never lied about Santa because they didn't want any suspicion generated that they could be lying about Jesus, right? Like that there was crosstalk between the real religious beliefs there and the fun fake ones. Um, anyway, so I heard from people that I didn't even know existed who actually had been traumatized by discovering such an elaborate lie in the household. Um, but yeah, my ethics around lying were established clearly enough, early enough, so long before we had kids that it was just clear we weren't going to lie to them about Santa or the Tooth Fairy or anything else. Um, and I would just point out nobody is tempted to lie about Halloween or Middle Earth or Harry Potter or anything else that's super fun for kids to fantasize about. I mean, you could suspect that it might be a little more fun if you lied about those things. If you said, Frankenstein was real or vampires are real or Dumbledore is real. But I mean, that's just not, we're not tempted to do that. And there's no problem. And so I can assure you, Christmas is a ton of fun for kids if you never lie to them about it.
Yeah, I mean, I think people more use the lie of Santa today for the invisible babysitter. For the You get a month or two to hang that over your kids' heads to get them to behave better. Listen,
But they behave just fine if you if you tell them there are real consequences, even Christmas shaped consequences to their misbehavior. I mean, you could say, listen, if you really want that stuff for Christmas, uh, stop doing that, and it would be the same message, right? I just think it's I don't know. I mean, it does introduce a perhaps a weird social experiment in the school if your kid is the only kid who knows the truth about Santa and they're surrounded
yeah,
by dummies who believe. But flip it around and ask yourself, do you want your kid to be the last kid in
no.
second grade or whatever grade it is to believe in Santa and to be teased by their friends? You don't want that, right? So at what point do you want them to be disabused of this fiction? So you want them to be the last boy or girl standing because that's embarrassing. So why not be the first?